Yeah. But at least two of us make 2/3 of Space Cadettes. And today, we're just gonna talk about whatever we want. Which I guess normally we do, but today there's no specific topic. It's just, hey, what you been watching? You looking forward to anything coming out? You know, and possibly, who knows? Bean and I could come up with another comic book idea. I mean, it's a mystery.
There's so
Without
much
Jena to
work.
reel us in, who knows?
There's so much work to be done on our first comic book idea. We can't come up with a second one. So much to do to make a comic.
I don't know. I feel like there's something with what we were talking about just before. Like I really like the idea of someone who's so naive to a life. Like imagine being super naive, but in a world where there's supernatural and regular stuff.
Mhm.
So you go to give blood, and it's like, oh yeah, no. I mean, they puncture the skin with the teeth, and that's how you give blood. That's how you donate, obviously. And then the other human friends are like, look, I know you just moved here, but you can't be this dumb. All right? That's not how people give blood to other people. You're going to vampires. You need to go to a different part of town to give blood. Completely wrong.
That's perfect. Yeah, I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows.
I still need to
And
catch up on that.
it's funny because, and this isn't like a spoiler because it's just something that like happens. You can see it coming a mile away. But so one girl gets turned into a vampire because she has never made out with someone before. She's like pretty young. She's, like in her early 20s, I think, and she just has never made out with anyone before. And the vampire is like, I'm gonna show you the way. And she's like, okay, yeah, I haven't done this before. And then like she gets turned into a vampire, but the whole time she's just like, oh, so this is what it feels like. Okay. So she gets her neck bitten, and then they're like, here, you need to drink some blood here. And she's like, oh, what is this? Like a type of tequila? And like drinks it and then becomes a vampire. So
Is this the first season?
I think it happens in the first season. I'm only on the second season right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
Because it's like that all sounds familiar, but I also don't want to assume because I feel like I'm at least 2 seasons behind at this point. I don't know how many seasons are there. Oh no.
There's 5.
Okay, yeah, I think
I
I'm at least 2 seasons behind, but I probably need to rewatch season 3 again. It's been so long. Love that show.
Yeah, I've been really, really enjoying it. I don't even know. Like, do you have a favorite character?
Oh, God, I can't remember his name right now, but Matt Berry's character.
Yes,
Like,
Cravensworth.
yeah, like hesitation. That's the guy. I just love Matt Berry though. He's amazing.
Yes.
I want him to narrate my life.
It's funny because like I saw an interview with him not long ago, and like just like a clip from one, and evidently like his like voice that he always does started as like a joke. Like he just did it to like annoy his friends, but then he just became known for it, and now his entire career is doing his joke voice he came up with in college.
I love it so much. I think he's got like a band or something too. Yeah, IT Crowd is great. And Disenchanted, I don't think I saw that. Is that the cartoon?
I think that's the one that everyone tells me I should watch it because the main character's name is Bean.
Oh.
So I think that's right. Her name has Bean in it at least. So
Well, I guess that means that I need to watch Alf at some point. Yes. And also the movie Alfie, which I somehow have not seen.
I don't even know what that one's about.
It's got Jude Law in it. I think he gets with a lot of women. Maybe.
Is he Alfie?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm aware.
I could see Jude Law playing you in a biopic.
That would be pretty funny. But he has to wear my clothes though.
Yes.
Yeah, like it can't be a male version of me. It has to be Jude Law as me.
Yes. Yep. With the makeup, with the hair, everything.
Oh no, he can keep his receding hairline and stuff. I think that would make it funnier.
He just dyed what he has.
Yeah, it just has to. It just has to be green.
It would be great.
Yeah, he has to wear the leggings and the Wednesday dress that I sometimes wear. He's got to do all of it.
Mm-hmm. He's got to work for it. I mean, it is his job. He's playing in a biopic, so
yeah. And he's got a method act, man. He's got to become me.
Yeah.
Except for the hair. Just because I think it'd be funnier.
I really like Matt Berry's character from the show, but I think my favorite is Guillermo.
Oh, Guillermo's great too.
I don't know what it says about me that like there's all these cool vampires. I love all of them, but my favorite is the like sweater wearing familiar who's like just trying to clean up after everyone. So, but
he's a great character though.
Yeah, and no spoilers, he gets cooler and more interesting. Like, he's always cool and interesting, but he has a lot more action than I thought he was gonna have in the show.
Yeah, I do relate in the fact that I think at the beginning of the show he kind of talks about how he got into vampires, and like he's got a picture of him dressed up as Armand, and it's like, dude, I was super into Interview when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
I'm still into it. I'm 2 episodes in, I think. Or 3. 2 or 3. It's a great show. I love that show.
Yeah. And that's the reboot? Reboot. I guess like the new show, because they did movies before.
Yeah, it's like a full-on show.
Okay.
And it's actually really good. And you know what? I thought Jacob Anderson, like, he's a great actor, and I thought he was good and cute as Grey Worm in Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. But as Louis, like, man, what a handsome man. What a great actor. Super handsome.
Let's see, what's his name?
The actor's name, Jacob Anderson.
Jacob Anderson. Oh, Jacob Anderson.
But I think I am the type of person, too, that the second you make someone a vampire, at least an Anne Rice vampire, it's just, they're automatically way more attractive. Just automatically.
Yeah, I just... I had a moment where it's like, Google, show me this guy. Yeah. He's very, very cute. I like him.
Yeah. And, man, the interviewer, though, the dude that's interviewing the vampire, I don't remember that actor's name, but he reminds me so much of Anthony Bourdain. Like, he looks a lot like him. If I'm like not facing the TV and he's talking to Louis, I'm just kind of like, is that Anthony Bourdain? And it's like, no, it's not. It's definitely not. Like, I keep having to tell myself, that's not him. It's definitely not him. This is ridiculous. Yeah. However, now I'm thinking that when I say that, other people are going to be like, he looks nothing like him. You're insane. Looks nothing like him.
Man, I do love Anthony Bourdain. I love watching his shows. I think I have found the guy, and I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I think people who love Anthony Bourdain and have seen, like, all of his cooking shows will probably be like, that guy doesn't look like him, but I see it.
Well, it's like, especially, like, in the show specifically, like, in the way that he's talking and the way that he's interviewing, I don't know, to me, it gives off Anthony vibes.
Yeah.
To me.
That's a plus. That makes me want to watch it more.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
Is that what you've been watching this week?
It's one of the things. I've also been, I've been trying to watch a bunch of stuff just to be like, okay, I'm getting used to not sticking with only watching YouTube, because stop doing this. There's so many other things that I'm subscribed to. I started watching, I think it's called Killer Sally on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That true crime documentary about the bodybuilder that killed her husband in self-defense. Like, they're showing, like, kind of both sides in a way. It's interesting. I thought it was just a small documentary, but then it's like, oh, you're on episode 3. Oh, okay. I guess it's a show. But that's pretty good so far. It's interesting. Sad, obviously, because it's true crime and a family is involved. And I also started today. I watched the first episode of Junji Ito's Maniac on Netflix that just came out.
How is that?
Okay. I don't know if maybe I'm a fake fan, but the first story that they put on, which now I can't remember the name of it. I'll look it up in a second. I had never read that story before. I was like, huh. Okay, well, maybe this is a deep cut, or maybe it's just from a book I haven't read. That's fine. I mean, Junji Ito has like an insane amount of work.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But then like the opening theme, I like the visuals. They're cool and they're definitely Junji Ito. But the music that they chose was like, huh. Well, that was a choice, I suppose. That was a choice that you made. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the tone of the episode didn't feel as like horror as what I would consider Junji Ito to be.
Mm.
And then the ending theme song, like the credits theme song, was just like, this is possibly one of the most anime songs that you could put at the end of this. Like, and I hope that people know what I mean when I say it's a very anime song. Like, you're listening to it and you're like, oh, this is definitely the theme to some anime.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's bad. It's just like, you're expecting like a cute little anime type thing.
Yeah.
It's just very anime. And it's like, this is not the tone that I was expecting or wanted. And then I decided to look through the other episode titles to see if maybe I recognized any of them. I think there's like 10 or 12 episodes, and I think I recognized 3 or 4 stories out of all of them. And I think some of them have 2 stories per episode. And it's like, yeah, I recognize like 3 or 4 of these. And they didn't, like, the Enigma of Amigara Fault isn't on there, and it's like, man, that's a classic. He could have animated that. That would have been cool. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up because I'm wondering how much Junji Ito had, like how much involvement he had with this particular project.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if he was just like, yeah, Netflix, you can use my stuff. That's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that he is actually overseeing the Adult Swim one, that's Uzumaki.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen him like do interviews and stuff like that about it. Like, and he's the one that was like, hey, we're putting this on hold. It'll come out when it comes out. We're not giving a release date anymore. It's not done. It's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people at Adult Swim were like, we will never do this again. It is very difficult to animate his stuff. It's just, it's a process. But with this one, with Maniac, I felt like I heard about this a few months ago. And now it's out. And it's like, where did this come from? Okay. I guess we're doing this. The animation is good, though. I'll say that. And I'll give it a chance. I'm not gonna outright say that it's bad yet. It's just yeah, and Jay, it's definitely way too happy and upbeat. It feels, and even in the episode, they use certain sounds and stuff that it was like, what are we doing here? This is weird. If y'all were doing Cat Diary or even Dissolving Classroom, that would be fine to use this sort of tone. But with this, it's just like, what what are we doing?
Is it just like a sound issue? Like, not to call anyone out specifically, but if all of the major issues are auditory, maybe we can look at a certain department.
Maybe. The music department, that was weird. Weird choices all around. But yeah, and Jay, I think even Dee Dee was telling me that maybe it's trying to lull you into a false sense of security and make you think that it's okay. But I don't know. I'll probably watch the rest of it. I'm off tomorrow, I'm pretty certain, so I'm probably just gonna binge it, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, still holding out hope that it's good. At the very least, it's introducing me to stories that I haven't read before, so I can look them up later and figure out how to read them. So, I guess there's that.
Yeah. Do you think maybe some of them might be written for the show?
No.
Or okay.
I really don't think that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. They could be. Mm-hmm. But I'm doubting that severely.
Yeah.
Because I think I did look at the writing credits. Mm-hmm. And for Junji Ito, it specifically says manga, like in parentheses. It doesn't have like he wrote for the show. It has a different writer for the show.
Mm.
So.
And I mean, if you're not recognizing it, and maybe he only sold them the rights to like his lesser known work, because if he's already in the process of like developing some of his other work, maybe that's why you don't recognize any of them, because he's like, no, I got plans for these.
Yeah, well, I know he has had some of his stuff has been animated before. Mm-hmm. Which I don't remember liking that anime either. I'm willing to rewatch it. It came out, it feels like forever ago, but I think ever since End Times, my perception of years is completely wrong. I don't know. What's today? 1999? I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, and they animated some of his more known stories. I do recall seeing like The Model being animated, and I love that one because that one actually scared me when I first read it, just because the model's face is terrifying. Mm-hmm. I might send a picture in chat when I can find one. But yeah. The only one that I know for a fact that he's working on, and that Adult Swim has signed off on, which I guess maybe if this one's successful, they'll be like, okay, I guess we'll do another one. But the only one that I know for a fact is Uzumaki. Mm-hmm. And that's like one whole story. It's not random short stories. Oh, and I am planning on watching Chainsaw Man when I can. Because I started reading Chainsaw Man. I don't know if it is what I expected it to be, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The little chainsaw dog is cute.
Yeah. I need to either read that one or watch that one. It's just, the endless list of things.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm forcing myself to do multiple. So it's like, oh, if for some reason something gets bad or it's boring to me, it's like, okay, I'll come back to you later. I'm starting something else.
Yeah.
Which means I'll never remember what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's the big problem, is you end up with like this huge stack of stuff that's like, I've read half of this.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished it. And that's why I think like once a year I've started going through and just like trying to finish as many things as I can.
No, that's fair. And then I've been focusing on comics, and right now I'm reading this big boy.
Ooh, what is that? Oh, I can't.
Sorry. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, what is that?
And it's actually this is actually by Kazuo Umez, which I'm certain that I mispronounced that, but this is the guy that inspired Junji Ito.
Oh man! So what year is that from? Is that recent?
No.
Okay.
What year is this from? Does it have a thingy? Does it have a thingy? Anywhere? Is there a thingy? Oh, okay. Oh, well, this is the volume. I think maybe there's singular issues at some point.
Let me just
2007?
Okay. Yeah.
Question mark?
Oh, this looks really
I know that this guy has been doing stuff forever. So. Boop. But yeah, so I'm in the middle of that, which is really good. Which obviously Junji Ito wrote Dissolving Classroom.
That's what I was thinking. So.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe a little bit of copy and paste, drifting, dissolving.
Yeah, they are completely different though. Very different stories. Are you reading anything right now? Or have finished something? Watching something
I
aside from what we do in the shadows?
so I'm back in school for my last semester right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have not had a ton of time to read. I am listening to an audiobook right now most of the time when I like have free time, and that way I can still kind of be like doing things, the things that get lost in trying to work and go to school at the same time, just like little things that like laundry,
Yeah.
like like the dishes, stuff that it's not, I don't have to do it, but it would be nice if those things were done. So, but yeah, I've been listening to Brandon Sanderson's The Final Empire, which is his first book in his Mistborn series. So that's been my main source of entertainment.
So did he also
Recently.
write the final countdown?
You know what? He might have. He's one of those authors has written, he writes a lot. His books are massive and he just like cranks those suckers out. So he's also on TikTok.
Oh.
He's a pretty funny guy. He did a TikTok where he was I don't think it can possibly be true, but he like it's like him like throwing a keyboard and it's like like broke another keyboard because I write so much and he's throwing it into a pile of keyboards. I don't think that's true, but he writes like 200,000 words a year. So maybe.
That's a lot. I don't think I've done that in my lifetime.
I maybe in dumb text messages to my friends if those count, you know.
Yeah, no, that's just. I'm always envious of people that can just crank out books. I always wanted to write, but it's just. Eh.
It's hard. It's like a muscle. When I was like when I was pretty young, I think I was like 19 or 20, I was worked as like a freelance writer for a little
Huh.
while, like content writer. And so did not pay very well then. Evidently it pays a lot better now, but just like writing like dumb articles every day, I got where I was like, oh yeah, no, I can like crank out fiction because like I'm having to write this like I had to write 5 articles today about kitchen cabinets. Writing about a zombie apocalypse so much easier. I can just go. But yeah. But
Wait,
then I went and got a different job and then all those muscles went away and now I can barely write 1,000 words a day.
yeah, I kind of hate that anything creative is a muscle
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I feel like at some point I was really good at drawing. Uh, I mean, I always thought that I was terrible, but in comparison to what I'm doing now, it's like, oh man, I was really good at one point,
Yeah.
and then I stopped, and now it's like, what do I do with you? Why do I have you? Do something correct. Take what's in here and put it onto there. And it's like my hands just won't do it anymore. I need to
Yeah.
like practice and stuff again, but since I'm not as good as I was, it's immediately disheartening. It's like, ugh. It's like I see my old work and it's like a really nice realism that I mean took like 14 hours to do, which is it's a lot of time, but I had nothing but time at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I look at what I'm doing now and in comparison it's like, oh, that's a stick figure. I drew a stick figure for 3 hours. The shading is excellent on the upper lip. I mean,
I'm just imagining a stick figure with like an upper lip shaded in.
I was making a very topical Napoleon Dynamite reference.
So topical.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's like 2010 God, what year did Napoleon Dynamite come out?
Maybe like 2007?
Yeah, it's like 2007.
2004. That
Oh.
movie is
2004?
Movie is 19 years old.
That movie came out in 2004.
There are children born since Napoleon Dynamite came out that can vote.
Oh man, I think Honey Boo Boo was born in like 2005.
Is that
Don't
like
ask why I know that. Don't ask why I know that. No questions.
I'm just imagining that's one of your measuring sticks of time. It's like,
when was Honey Boo Boo born?
Yeah, it's like BHBB before Honey Boo Boo, AHBB after Honey Boo Boo.
That's exactly.
Oh man. No. That's well after I was trying to make it smooth segue. I was trying to make a joke about we'll be back after Honey Boo Boo break. We'll be back. But then it just turned into gibberish. So yeah, we will be back after a brief commercial break. See you guys soon.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
Did you know that across America there are over 2, maybe even 3 live stream producers who can't even afford Mountain Dew? Take Brian here. Brian has gone 2 weeks without a sip of Red Bull. If it goes on much longer, he may take a shower and get a real job. Situations like this are as tragic as they are preventable. Join the experience on YouTube and gain access to special emojis and members-only streams. For less than a cup of coffee, you can keep socially awkward hermit people working from their parents' basements where they belong. Scan the QR code on the screen to join. You'll be glad you did.
Go follow the experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
And we're back from break. that's how we're coming back. Because that's where our conversation when we were on break led us to was what if Junji Ito drew what if he illustrated the whole saga of Honey Boo Boo?
I would read it so hard.
Yeah.
Like, combining my unfortunate love of reality TV with my completely normal love of Junji Ito.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that person that did the King of the Hill Junji Ito stuff?
It sounds familiar, but I don't. I think somebody might have told me about. You might have told me about it. I don't know if I've seen it.
It's hilarious.
We should, and also during our break, Alfie did inform me on the whole saga. I have been informed on just all of the business with the great Honey Boo Boo and her clan.
Yeah, the Thompsons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess her last name's Thompson. I don't think that's her mom's last name. June
Lore.
Something? Oh man. Well, now I'm a bad Honey Boo Boo fan. I can't remember June's last name. I just know it was Mama June.
I don't know.
I know too much about this family. In general.
Okay, but so we were going to talk about, because we were talking about before the break about like very prolific writers and people who are able to just like crank out work, which is amazing, and we love it. And I just don't know. I'm trying to think of like comic art, because the thing is, most of the comic artists that I really like are not those people. They're the ones that I'm like, oh, it's been a few years, cool, something new. But yeah, do you have any like artists or anything that you're like, yeah?
Trying to think. Not artists in that sense, but I think it's okay, before I say his name, let me make sure that I'm thinking of the correct person so that I'm not telling tales out of school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I guess he puts out movies pretty regularly. Well, he hasn't a little bit, but there was End Times. So, I like that director. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. It's either Ari or Ari Aster.
Oh.
And it felt like a long time since his last movie. And his last movie was in 2019. It was Midsommar.
Okay.
And now this year he's coming out with a movie, and it's like, cool. I'm excited about that. Beau is Afraid.
Yes. Yeah.
But then
really
I realized Hereditary actually came out in 2018, and it's like, oh, was he actually on track to do a movie each year? And then stuff happened?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, man.
I'm very excited to see Beau is Afraid. We're gonna have like going to the movies together, because I'm also, though, it is definitely one of those where, and also maybe because like you were just saying, it does look like he took a break there for a couple of years, you know, and now this one looks like it's gonna deal with like agoraphobia.
Yeah, and it's being described as like a comedy horror.
Yeah.
Which seems very different. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I realized there was a trailer out. So I'll have to watch that.
It's only been out for maybe a week or two, but I'm really excited. Hereditary is my favorite horror movie ever.
It's great.
Yeah, it is absolutely my favorite. And so I saw this one and I was like, oh, but yeah, no, there is claymation in it.
Huh.
In Beau is Afraid. I think it's claymation. It's some form of like cartoon, and I'm excited. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I mean, his stuff is weird. I know someone had told me that like with Hereditary and Midsommar that he was basically maybe gonna try to do like basically like a trilogy of sadness or a trilogy of grief, like just different types of grief, different ways of dealing with it or not dealing with it. But then this seems to maybe deviate completely unless they talk about that sort of stuff in it. But this seems like it might be a different tone than maybe Hereditary or Midsommar, at least from what I'm reading about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different tone, but if he's doing a trilogy of like grief and like processing stuff, this definitely could be the next installment in that. Just from the trailer, like it's clearly like heavily metaphorical, someone dealing with a lot of stuff. So
I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, it had felt like he hadn't put out something in a little bit. I'm trying to think of. Unfortunately, at this moment, I'm not super. Like, I feel like everything that I'm currently reading or excited for is currently coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think of anyone that it's like, oh man, you haven't put out something in a while.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is you don't think about them all the time because maybe you haven't heard from them. But I do think like, and I mean, and I think it's something that a lot of people who really love Image Comics, like it was founded by comic creators, and so when a creator, like when people want to take a break from making their comic, or they feel like it's not like at a place, like they can't continue making it to the degree they want it and like to the quality they do, they just take a break. And Image is like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's way better than having like essentially a crunch, and it's like, oh well, no, you got to get this out. You got deadlines, and it's like, oh cool. Well, I drew some of the worst drawings I've ever drawn. The story is poor, and everything sucks. Here you go. I guess it met the deadline. It's not what I wanted, but here you go.
Yeah. And and I completely understand when I meet people who are like, I cannot deal with that. Like, because there are, like, I total respect for the readers who were like, I want Spider-Man. Show me pictures of Spider-Man. Every week, I want to see pictures of Spider-Man. And there, Marvel delivers. Like, and you can, every week, if you want to see a picture of Batman, every week, DC's, there we go. Detective Comics, like, there we go, you know? And so it's, like, I absolutely understand the readers who are like, I want absolute consistency.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And there are, and you know, obviously they then employ writers and artists who every single week can just knock it out, you know. And of course they have writers come in for like arcs and everything. But yeah, no, I think maybe because I'm a chronically behind person, like I'm always, so every time one of my series I'm reading like takes a break, actually one of the most recent ones is from DC. Human Target took a break. It's a 12 issue run. It's always been a 12 issue run, but they got done with the first 6 issues, and I forget his first name, but Smallwood is the one doing the illustrations, who does these incredible, like, he's probably one of my favorite artists. He did a lot of work for Moon Knight for a while, and I just love him, and he's the perfect person to illustrate the Human Target. And I believe it was him that they were like, he was like, I just need some time. I need time to work on it. I need time to finish the next 6 issues. And they were like, okay, well, we'll see you in 6 months. And they just gave him, you know, time, and now it's back and about to be finished, and I'm excited.
Nice.
But I'm really glad. And like I said, there's but that's a lot of the stories that I like, you know. I think the most famous, which is like Saga, which was gone for 4 years.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones that I think a new issue came out like this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if I've been on a new book show where an issue of Saga was new. It's like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Which at some point I'll tackle that. At some point. Eventually, one day.
Yeah, I feel like you will start it and binge it. Like, just for real though. Like, it's a very bingeable comic. I love it. So of course I think it's bingeable, but you know.
Well, I think our tastes, reading wise, have been in a similar realm.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever started it and read like the first few pages?
No, not yet.
It has a baby crowning. First few pages.
That both intrigues me and upsets me.
Yeah.
But
and just
I think I'm more intrigued.
Yeah.
The first few pages?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is, yeah. It is great. And it just says, you know what? I'm a comic book. I'm here. We're going to tell this story exactly how we're going to tell it. You're going to read it. It's so good, though. It is excellent.
Okay, that might have moved it a little bit higher up on the to read.
I might declare the first like few issues of Saga as my pick of the week sometime soon, just so we can read it and talk about it, and you know, maybe, and I didn't even realize, because I think when I started reading it was like years ago, when it was not an imposing 50 volume omnibus. It didn't have this
omnibus is like this thick. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so it is nice too that you can read, because obviously the new issues, like, it's a new story. They start over completely. So if you start reading, it is like you can read all of that and be like, okay, like that's the story. And clearly, like, it was intended to go on, but there's like a very clear, like, finite, like, this is everything in a
Oh,
book.
okay.
There you go. So
That's cool.
we're gonna have fun revisiting or visiting for the first time.
Yeah, definitely visiting for the first time for me, which I'm scared, but also very intrigued.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah.
so like, it is definitely, though, like I said, it's frustrating for some people when writers and artists need to go on hiatus and like wait for things, but I'm down to wait. I'm down to just sit down and just get to the rest of my reading stack and just wait.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. Like, if I'm really into something, like with a TV show or something, when they started introducing those mid-season finales, I was like, what is this? What's this now? Why are we doing this? I don't like this. I want to finish my show. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, I'm also pretty behind on stuff, and I think I've just gotten worse with time. As time has gone on, it's just I'll get to a point where I just stick with my sticks and stones, and I'll just keep rewatching the same thing or ignoring my to read stack because it's like I'll never get through it. Why even begin? It's too big. I can't deal with it. It's too much. So if there is a break in something, it's like, okay, cool. I'll come back to you later whenever you're done. Now I'll go on to this other thing. Yeah. Or at least I need to get back to... I need to be more consistent. It's not the authors and the artists, it's me. I'm the problem. I'm not demanding that you write more immediately. So yeah. I'm the problem. I'm not motivating the artists and the authors. It's like, hey guys, come on. I need more. But instead I'm like, oh no, you can take a break. I got like 5 other things to read. It's fine.
Yeah.
Come back later.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, it definitely is like a thing. If an artist or writer puts out a lot of work, like I know, like from when I worked at Space Cadettes, the comic book store, there are incredible, I was always like really amazed by the comic collectors who are like, I want every single cover that this artist does. Especially the people who said that about Peach Momoko.
Yep, I was about to.
Oh my goodness. They're a machine.
Yeah, like, it seems like every week it's like, oh, hey, here's a Peach Momoko cover. Oh, hey, here's a few more that they did as well this week.
Yeah.
And so, like, where does this person find the time? I mean, I guess it is their job. So, but it's still like, and it's all like really beautiful work. And I'm just like, man, how though?
How
and
be
then, good? And then isn't Demon Days, isn't that all their work? Yeah. And so the whole thing, how? They must not sleep. It's like they basically like they're like sitting at their desk or wherever they do their art, and they're like, okay, time to end the day. All right, I feel recharged. That's a good 5-minute nap. All right, let's go. Time for more.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's incredible though. It's awesome. We love them. I don't know. I have said on the show, I think 3 times, that I need to figure out what Peach Momoko's official pronouns are, and I still don't know. I've tried to look it up. I don't know. So I just am being safe. Yeah, put in the comments below if you know it.
Yeah, I feel like just saying they or them is just, that tends to be the easiest and safest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like it's definitely people who don't get as much, like they don't release as much work, but especially us like talking about the Kickstarters and like people who put their comics out on Kickstarter, like many of those people are working full-time jobs, have kids, and are also making comics.
Which that's
Like
insane to me.
it's incredible. Like I said, we're like venturing into our first attempt, and it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like what little optimism that my brain has is just like, oh no, it's cool. Like, just start doing it. It'll be fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's cool. Just maybe do a test issue. It doesn't have to be anything that's part of the big story. Just a small little test, just to see how it works. If you like it, whatever. And then the rest of me is like, this is daunting. Why? Oh my gosh, we really need to get everything fleshed out before we even consider anything else. Why are you even doodling a character? You stop that right now. The story hasn't been figured out. You haven't come up with 10 years of a story. Stop it. You need to start this character from birth to death. Like, all of them.
What is their blood type?
Do they even have blood in this time? I don't know.
Step 1, do they have blood? Step 2, do they have bones?
Is it motor oil? Actually, oh god, what oil do they use?
That would be cool. That would be a pretty
Oh, well, now
cool
we've
thing.
added a new thing into it. Instead of going to a blood bank to donate blood, you go to Jiffy Lube to get a change.
Yeah, Jiffy Lube is just like of the future, is not just for cars, it's for like androids, and it's like super advanced.
Yeah, except you do have to get out of your car. They can't do it while you're sitting in the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unrelated, but related to Peach Momoko. I didn't know that she did they did a Tool tour poster.
I actually think that I saw that when it came out.
Really cool.
It's crazy, but it's awesome. It's also like, is Tool a fan of Peach Momoko?
Maybe.
Like, did they request that, or is it like they're marketing people?
It could be either or. It could be both.
Randomly, because I thought of it that that we just like very brief jump over into music is that I just always think of that Johnny Cash cover of 9 Inch Nails, and I just think, did Johnny Cash listen to 9 Inch Nails? Like, was he jamming out, or did someone bring him the song? I mean, that person was genius too, but like I like to think that Johnny Cash was just really into 9 Inch Nails, and maybe he also listened to Tool, you know.
It's possible. I mean, I feel like if you're into music and if you've been in the business for so long, I mean, even if something isn't necessarily your jam, you've probably heard it.
You
I don't
think
know.
so?
I feel like Johnny Cash though. He probably was a 9 Inch Nails guy.
Yeah,
he could have been.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know, like my dude, he's the guitarist, not guitarist. I'm sorry, he's a bassist in a local band called Essay,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, he'll listen to pretty much anything, especially if it's at a show that he's at. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to show respect to the other bands, even if they don't float his boat. It's like, oh, I'm still listening to them. I'm going to give them
Like
a shot.
Like polka music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably likes that more than some other genres, to be fair.
I did at one point when I was younger, was listening to Blue October, which I still listen to. Great band. Love them. And somebody, it kind of ruined my day when somebody was like, hey, you realize that this part of the song is yodeling, right? And I was like,
what song?
I forget which of their songs. It's one of their early ones, but it's on, I believe. Okay, I imagine the album cover. The album cover looked like crunched up aluminum foil. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
one of those has a part in one of the songs that is yodeling.
Huh.
It might not be that album. It might be their slightly older stuff. I'll find it.
Well,
But-
now I'm definitely gonna listen to that.
And somebody was just like, yeah, you know, that's what that is. And I listened to it again. I was like, this man yodeling in this song right now in my ears.
Real quick, back to I almost said Blue October. Back to Peach Momoko. I'm looking at like all the stuff that they've done or awards that they've gotten, and something was like for a Guillermo del Toro inspired show, and it's like, whoa, I need to see whatever art came from that.
That would be awesome. Man, I saw an interview with him recently too, because TikTok showed it to me. Clearly, you know, just being honest, I'm not out here like watching deep things. It's just what my algorithm has learned I will sit and watch.
Which is why my algorithm is not deep at all. It's all reality TV.
But it was really interesting just because he was talking about how his inspiration, how he does the voice of all of his monsters because he sees himself as a monster and has like based so much of the monsters in his work off of like his own like demons and like the inner demons of people.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. It's also sad because everybody talks about how he's like one of the sweetest people ever. But then for him to be like, I'm the monster, that's why I do the monster voice, because I'm the monster. Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't even think that I realized that he did the voices and stuff. I don't know that I knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I loved
Okay.
it.
I thought maybe it was actually common knowledge, and I was like, oh.
I don't know. It might be. I don't know anything. I just am on the internet sometimes.
We're just a couple of people who know nothing.
Yeah. And that's why we're talking on the internet, because we don't know anything.
That's why we're here, to bring you the facts.
But listen, Honey Boo Boo was born in 2005.
2005. She's 4'6". There you go. Another fun fact.
shorter than okay. I'm gonna tell a little. So my friend, I don't think this friend would ever watch this show. I'm sorry if you are listening and this is about you. My friend came to me one day and we were just talking, and they're like, "Did you know Danny DeVito's actually not that short? He's 5'8". And I was like, no, he's not. That's not true. There's no...
I don't know why it's so funny to imagine Danny DeVito is 5'8".
But for a second, even though I know it's not true, there was a second in my brain where I'm like, is everyone else just really tall? Like, is everyone else just super tall? And then we looked it up, and it turned out that they had seen like a joke meme on the internet and just thought it was true.
Oh, so they genuinely believed that he was 5'8".
Yes. This was a very serious. We had to go to Google and look at his Wikipedia page to confirm. He's only like 4'11".
No. He's 5'8", and to everyone watching that will never see me in real life standing, I'm actually 6'2". It's true. True facts.
It is very hilarious
Very
that because we do this show and like we had not actually kind of formally met in person, and we both assumed we were the same height. I assumed you were my height and you assumed I was your height, and then I met you and I'm like, oh, hi.
Yep. To be fair, I was sitting down. I was on the ground.
Yeah.
At first, but then it was like, oh yeah, no, I'm very short.
Yeah, and I had my tall boots on when we met standing for the first time, so that contributed.
Yeah, but I mean, on the screen we're the same height.
Exactly.
Roughly.
Right now, we're both 5'8".
Yeah, the same height as Danny DeVito.
Same height as Danny DeVito.
And and I think on that note, I've been Alfie. I guess I'll continue to be Alfie until I change my name or something. But you know, I'm Alfie right now. And that's Bean. I'm assuming you're going to continue being Bean.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I am. I'm always going to be Bean.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're always going to be Bean. I may or may not always be Alfie, but together we've been Space Cadets. And we'll be back next week to bring you loads of other true facts. Like, oh, I couldn't come up with something funny immediately. So, we're also here to bring humor next week. Not right now, though. Maybe later. But we've been Space Cadets. See you later.
Bye.